Hello, everyone. This is Brian Weber, and I'm going to be recording a stock market review for you guys. This is going to be on my personal channel, because this is where I'll be posting my trading content from now on. So, good afternoon. It's about 3 p.m. here in California and San Diego, and happy Sunday Funday to everyone out there. I'm growing a little mustache right now. It's a little creepy. I think I'm going to shave it later. Not really feeling it. Not too hipster, but that's the California way. But anyways, so I'm going to start making one of these videos every single week to keep you all updated and informed of what's going on in the markets. And if you're a trader, that's awesome. Then I can share my technical analysis with you, and I'm sure that will help with identifying certain levels for support and resistance and whatnot. So this past week was mostly a consolidation week. There's a little bit of selling due to the Turkish lira taking a plunge, and I have a link to the story on that in the description below. And the same scenario happened in 2018. It caused the market to sell as well. It was a little bit more violent, I would say, but the dip was bought as it was last year too, and you can see that the American markets weren't too affected by it. So you can see on my chart in the background, that's the S&P 500, the E-mini futures contract. 2800 was acting as strong daily support, and Friday we did rally into the close quite nicely. We were in a consolidation all day, and we had a nice wedge breakout to the upside with some shorts waiting at the 2840 level. But tomorrow is April 1st, so it's a new trading month, and let's start it off in a strong way, and let's end tomorrow green and the rest of the week. But there are some things we need to watch this week, mainly the economic data that's going to be coming out. Besides, the usual that we have, any headlines regarding Brexit that is still going on, with Theresa May is still trying to figure out a way to make the Brexit work for her, and nothing seems to be passing. No one's agreeing with it. I'm sure that'll continue to go on. There'll be news and headlines coming out about that. Then we have the USA and China trade talks. The last headline I saw that the trade talks are going well, but Trump is not willing to budge unless it's a great deal. So I'm sure that's going to be ongoing for quite some time, but always be vigilant on the lookout for any news headlines that come out. And of course, we have the US 10-year Treasury yield inversion. So that was quite quite focused, I'd say. People were talking about that about a week ago. Now everyone seems to have forgotten about it because now it's getting back to normal, but it's just something to pay attention to long term. But the economic events to watch this week, if you're a futures trader, and even if you're trading stocks as well, because some of these events happen just after market open. So on Monday we have retail sales at 5:30 a.m. All these times are in Pacific Standard Time. We have the ISM Manufacturing PMI at 7 a.m. Monday, and Tuesday we have the core durable goods orders at 5:30 a.m. Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment change at 5:15. Then we have ISM non-manufacturing PMI at 7 a.m. Then crude oil inventories at 7:30 a.m. If you're a crude futures trader, that's something to pay attention to. And Thursday, unemployment claims at 5:30 a.m. And Friday is going to be a big one. We're going to have the non-farm employment change and unemployment rate at 5:30 a.m. So that's going to happen before the cash open on the market. So let's take a look at the technical review here. I'm going to minimize my little video so we can focus on the chart, not my creepy mustache. Let's turn this guy off right here. Okay, so this is the ES first. We actually are gapping up. The market is open now. Kind of saw this is what I was going to talk about. Based on that close on Friday, it does look like it's pretty strong so far. Market just open. So what I'm looking for is that we're going to most likely grind higher. We're in this nice up wedge right here. You can see this lower trend line. We have another lower trend line down here. So far, you can just see since the beginning of the year or even the beginning of February, or end of, I would say mid-January. We've been making higher highs, coming back, retesting it, making a higher low, making another higher high, coming back and retesting that consolidation. That's exactly what we just did here. So it looks like we're going to grind higher, and we're going to test that 2866 this week, and this major downtrend from near the all-time high. You can see right there. I have two trend lines. I can get rid of this one. That was the breakout. Yeah, the market's already up 10 handles from the open, so it's a nice gap up. So, but I am looking at resistance around the 26 or 2860 to 2865. If that's cleared and it holds on a retest, more than likely going to see that 2878 area this week, and that's just going to be where the 2008, the first sell-off happened. And we might actually go to the top of this channel, which is near 2900. So if the bulls are really, it's really bullish. I mean, we're already hit 2850, but it's early. It's only been a minute open. So we'll see what happens. It does look very bullish to me so far. I might actually look to take a trade here after I'm done recording this video. Let's see if I can buy a dip before I go back out to surfing. But it does look like we're going to grind higher into the upper part of this channel, potentially test 2900 if the market is very strong, which it looks like it is right now. But lower support, we do have 2820, and then if we lose 2790 on ES, more than likely going to test the 200-day SMA and 50 on this lower trend line, which now the 50 is actually crossing above the 200-day SMA, which is a golden cross, which is a really bullish sign that we're most likely going to go higher. I think at this point, the probability of us hitting a new all-time high before we have more significant pullback is a lot greater. Let's take a look at the NQ. This is the NASDAQ 100 futures. I'm sure it's also gapping up. Yeah, we're both up about 0.5%. So this NQ, nice up wedge right here. You can see there's a nice up channel right here, this lower blue trend line, and then you have this top pink one. So as long as that holds, looks like we're going to grind to the top. I mean, there's a new all-time high. Is not too far away. 7728.75 is not far away from where we are right now. And you can see they're hitting some resistance here. This is what I was going to say, around the 74.45. It's just the high of this candle, which I believe was Tuesday last week. 326. Yeah, it was Tuesday last week. Well, it looks like we're going to get above that, but it's still early. There's no way to know what's going to happen, but prepare based on what does happen. Then we'll have a plan to go long or short, you know, with these price levels. And we do have this orange parallel channel. You can see we looked above and sold. This was on end of last week or 2 weeks ago. So I think NQ is most likely going to test that 70, this high right here. So yeah, we're making lower or higher lows and higher highs here. So I think the 7600 this week could be tested as long as we can make a higher high and clear this level, the 7544.75. We still have this lower trend line here, so it's going to act as resistance. But if a lot of shorts jump on this area, similar to ES, it might fuel the bullish move higher if there's a significant buying that comes in. So, but we do have support around this 70, I would say 72.90 is strong support on NQ, and then you have these lower trend lines, and then you can see the 50 is about to cross the 200 as well. So we're just trading the trend. Trend is still up. And that's the way you should look to be trading until it changes. So we're still making higher lows and higher highs. I'm sure there's still going to be intraday shorts, but the majority of the trades when we're having moves like this are going to be long. Let's take a look at YM. This is the Dow Jones Futures contract. So right to resistance I was going to talk about. This is a down trend line from the all-time high. It's also not too far off. I mean, we're literally less than 2% on all these indices, I think, from getting a new all-time high. So it's very achievable in the next, month or so. It could happen sooner. It could happen in 2 weeks, You just never know. But that's the way it's looking. So right now we're testing this resistance, this downtrend line. I think if we can clear these two tops right here, especially this one back on 225, February 25th, and get above 26,268. That's just the top of this triple top that we had. Actually, YM was a little bit stronger back in the day, but this is the top of where the major selling, we could call this consolidation before the big selling occurred. And I think that YM might have a chance to get to this 26,472. It's just the open of this big red candle here. So that's a target that I'd be looking at for this week if YM can clear these preceding highs right here. I mean, it's right at a resistance right now, so, and we have a potential gap fill scenario, but right now it does look bullish. I would say strong support on this lower trend line in the 50-day SMA. And then below there, I mean, you have the 200-day SMA as well, but the really strong support is around 24,900, and then this yellow line right here, 24,536, but I don't see us selling off like that unless something really bad comes out. Let's take a look at the RTY. This is the Russell 2000, the small cap companies of the stock market. So there was some selling that came in on Friday, but you can see that it's also gapping up and it's up nicely, almost 0.5%. We're in this down channel right here. The Russell is the only index that is making lower highs and lower lows, which is usually the leader for the other bigger indices. But I think if the Russell can get break this down channel and clear this 200 SMA, this is a lot of resistance right here. I mean, you have the 1565 or 1567 area. There's a lot of resistance here, and then you have a lot of support at this DMI level, this blue dash line around 1530, and then of course you have just following the trend down. There's support on this lower trend line, and then around here at the 1460 area. But if we can break higher, get above this big red candle right here on March 22nd, we have a chance to test the 200-day SMA. It's around 1580. If we can break that and start making higher highs, breaking this level, we could get back to 1600 and then potentially hit these other levels that I have up here from where the sell-off occurred back in end of September, beginning of October last year. So that's what I see for the RTY. I don't actually trade it, but I watch it very closely because it leads the bigger indices. Let's take a look at gold. Just going to be covering the major future markets and then one or two equities that I'm going to swing trades on. So gold have these trend lines here, and I have a fib actually. This is the main or most recent move, excuse me, on the daily, and you can see we went 2/3 back and we sold. Now we're in this down channel. It's a down cone, almost a parallel channel, but it is trending down. But the overall trend is up. The near-term trend is down on gold because the markets are continuing to grind higher, which you can see a lot of the money is coming out of gold in the sell-off here. People are just taking if they're going along on these bounces, they're taking quick profits, and it's making the price of gold drop because the money is better in equities at the moment due to the stock market just rising still. But you can see we have a lot of resistance here on gold. This could be a Morningstar reversal candle. However, I want to see how this week closes and see if this is actually going to be a higher low here from this support right here at 1280. I mean, you have to get above this 50-day SMA and clear this 1315 area. So you have 1305 and then you have 1315 that you got to get above on gold, and then you got to get above this 2/3 back to have any bullish momentum to get back up to the 1350 area. So right now, I think gold might just consolidate or slowly taper down if the equities rise. But I would like to see which way we break on this candle, see which way the price wants to go, because we're in the middle of this channel right now, so there's really no trade at the moment. So that's what I'm going to be watching, see which way gold wants to go in this channel. I'm going to take a look at CL. I do trade crude oil futures, gapping up a little bit too on crude. I do think we're in this nice up channel right here. Here's a fib. If you take a look at this fib right here, oh, it's from the 6039. This is the most recent move. And you can see the first target is around the 200 SMA. So I think the 6175 or 200 SMA, top of this channel, is in the near future. It makes sense, especially if the rest of the market is strong. I think we will continue to grind higher. We're still in a nice uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows on crude. I think that would be my first target. If market's really strong on crude, depending on when the crude oil inventories come out this Wednesday, if the numbers are more bullish, meaning there's less supply, more demand on the inventory report, then I could see us, eventually grinding higher to test the breakdown levels. Let me zoom in a little bit. This next level right here, well, I wouldn't say 65 right away. 65, 66 is definitely a target that I'm looking at, but 64, this next fib target, would be a really good area as well. But I think we'll continue to grind higher on crude as long as we hold this uptrend. So I think strong support definitely around the 58.20 area, and then it'll most likely be this trend line. If we do have some selling, this trend line will catch up and act as support. So that's what I'll be looking for on crude. Obviously, intraday will be a little bit different because you're trading based on price action and trading with the major overall trend, which is still up until you get to a resistance, which are those red lines. Let's take a look. I'm gonna look at the dollar, and I'm gonna look at a few equities that I'm in swing trades on. Oh wow, market almost hit 28.55. 28, yep. Strong so far. It looks like we're gonna have a bullish week, but the dollar right here at strong resistance. You can see we have been making higher highs right here and higher lows. I mean, this major daily trend is still up. And we do have, this could be an evening star reversal candle. It's at strong resistance. If you look right here around the 37.37 area, that has to clear in order to get back up here and potentially hit this 97.71 area again. You can see we hit that. We have a triple top almost right there. 1, 2, 3 times. You can see we're still in an uptrend. So if we do go higher, I mean, I would just look for this trend line and then this fib target. For if you're long and holding and swing trading it, those would be good targets to take if you're long. But I think if we don't hold the low of Friday, you can see it's the open of this big red candle back on March 13th. Should act as strong support, and this fib right here around 97. Then it might reset lower to test previous supports on these fibs right here in the 50-day SMA. So that's what I'd be looking for in the dollar. I don't actually trade Forex, but I do watch the dollar. Let's take a look at what are the other. So I'll take a look at Apple and Netflix because those are the two that I'm in swing trades on with some options. Let me zoom in. Apple looks very bullish still. Really beautiful uptrend, the channel that we're in right now. If I show you, if you take a look at this move back here and you draw a fib, you can see that 2/3 above there, which is the 161.8 fib, was the target for this move. So if you were long all through this, I remember getting long back around the retest of this one. After this candle, I got in on that candle for a nice swing trade, but didn't hold it all through this, but hit the targets. Obviously you don't get greedy, and then you just find another area to get in, which we've done, and I've done 2 times already. But the current move I'm looking at, I really like this candle on Friday, and most of the equities are probably going to gap up if the market holds, because we've already gapped up almost 0.5% already. I think I'm looking for Apple to clear the opens of these candles right here, and then I've already added to my position that I got in almost at the low of the wick of this candle on the 26th of March last week. I think that was Tuesday. I'm looking for it to gap up, retest, and add to a position and just keep moving my stop up below the lows of the last 2 days. As long as Apple continues to make higher lows, I think we could have a push back up to the top of this channel in the $200 area and potentially higher. So, but if for some reason we sell off, if we lose the lows of these candles, I would look for a double bottom retest of this 185 area. And if that doesn't hold, you have this trend line right here on Apple. But just looking at this fib, this pivot to there, yeah, I'd be looking at like 204, 205 first on Apple. That would be a target that I have. You can see these pivots over here. If I go to the weekly chart, that's basically how I trade swing trades. I get my targets based on the weekly charts, the weekly candles. First would be this candle, the open of this big red candle, and then you have potentially the close of this one. So 207, 208 area. That's the target that I would look for near term on Apple. But if we keep grinding higher, I think Apple could definitely go higher, but that's the current trade that I'm looking at on Apple. Let me just take a look at Netflix really quick too. Let me zoom in. They still have this earnings gap way back in July of last year that hasn't filled yet. I do like the chart on Netflix. It is making higher lows and higher highs. A lot of buying came in on the retest of the previous day. So again, this is the beginning of making higher lows and higher highs again. To see how we did this here, we made a new high. If we do this here, we made a higher low, just like this one did to there. We should grind back up into the top of this channel if Netflix is strong. However, if we do lose the low of even this candle, if we lose the 50 SMA and cross this lower trend line, I doubt this will hold. We'll probably reset lower to the 200 SMA. But I think if Netflix clears these two red candles, mainly the opens, the close of this one and the open of this, so like 360, let's just say 363. I would say 361 to 363. If we get above there, I think could hit the first target that I have is 368 on Netflix, and then the next one will be this big red, the open of this big red candle around 376. If she's really strong, I'm actually looking to trail it. If we can continue to grind higher, if Netflix becomes really bullish for some reason, if some positive bullish catalyst news comes out, could cause Netflix price to fill this gap up at the 392 area. But that's what I'm looking at on Netflix. That's all I got for you today, guys. Let me know if you want me to look at a stock for you. I'd be more than happy to. And let me know what you guys think. If you appreciated this or learned anything new in this video, you thought it was interesting and valuable, just give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure my face is going to be popping up now. You click on that to subscribe to any notifications when I upload a video. And I will be back next week with another video covering the stock market for the next trading week. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday, guys, and I will chat with y'all soon. Take care. Bye.